Hold on, we're about ready. We should be going live right now. And we'll catch you mid-bite, bro. We'll get you on there and be like, hey, what happened? We should be good, man. Hello, everybody. Spider here, the Five Car Podcast, coming to you once again. Being joined by the owner of LionFitFoods. Man, how are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Staying busy.
Man, we caught you halfway through your meal. I know you had a rough morning. You had a client.
Yeah, well, it was a normal morning in all honesty. Just, I'm taking like a little depletion when it comes to my typical diet. I started the Dolce diet, going through like their 12-week program. I kind of wanted to see what the impact would be on my body and how it could apply to anything that I do. Yeah, well, just kind of like figure out what his product was about, and just really, just kind of figure it all out. So I'm doing he's got like a 12-week program, so I'm doing the 12 weeks, and I'm about 2 weeks in, and it's plenty of calories. It's just for some reason I'm just still starving, So like I'm constantly hungry. So it's a little bit. It's not really what I expected, but so far so good.
No, I mean definitely, man. I mean, of course, as far as your studio, it's actually on the south side of San Antonio, right?
Yeah, so it's Southtown. So like right here, we're downtown, east south side, so right on Flores Nogalitos and Ceballos. So
there you go.
Yeah. We train just an arsenal of different types of individuals, everyday person to professional athletes, and there's a few of us down there, and we all just have individual clients.
Hey, can you throw a couple names out there, or is that a client?
I can tell you like some of the people that I work with. I'm currently right now I work with like a lot of the guys from Ultimate Submission Academy, so like Miracle or Gordy, Eddie, who I never can pronounce his last name correctly.
Friday.
Yeah. Ray, owner of Ultimate Submission Academy, the judge. I got some amateur and professional boxers that I work with as well. Some pro boxers that I've not currently working with, but worked with in the past, like Kendo Tremendo. Man, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember everybody, but a bunch of people that come and go, depending on what their fight schedules look like.
And then, like you stated earlier, it's mainly people that are in the combat sports, right?
Yeah, I particularly work with people who are in combat sports. It's just what I try to do. That's where I want to maximize my strength and conditioning programs geared towards any combat athlete. So whether you're a IBJJF, competitor, right, or you're full MMA or just boxing, it doesn't matter. Just if you're in the combat sport industry, that's people who I particularly work with. And
let me ask you this, because it might be a little controversial, I guess, to an extent. Because a lot of people say you don't have to go work out. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, just go do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it definitely helps if you go and do strength and conditioning, man.
Yeah, so strength and conditioning is I mean, it's applicable to every sport. I think there's a lot more enlightenment for strength and conditioning in combat sports now, which is really cool. You got a lot of like athletes, kind of like the new generation, or that are working with strength and conditioning coaches. What happens is I literally just started with a new boxer yesterday. She's about to go pro, and she understood, like her words were, I'm about to go pro, and I know that at the pro level, the other females are working with strength and conditioning coaches, and I've never done it. Yeah. So she wants to have the ability to be able to, there's two types of gas tanks, right? We have an anaerobic and we have our aerobic gas tank. So they want to have the ability to go there, whether it's 3 rounds, 5 rounds, or a 12-round boxing fight, the entire time, right, at a high pace or a good pace, a sustainable pace for them to be able to, keep the pressure and apply pressure. And that's huge when it comes to a fight. If you got a fighter that gasses out in round 2 or 3, and you're still going full throttle, and everything about your recovery in that corner for 1 minute is great. Everything about your energy levels, every round is great. It makes all the difference, because once you're gassed in a fight, you're gassed.
Oh, yeah, bro. I mean, and that's it's unfortunate because it happens at even the top leagues.
Oh, without a doubt.
You see them out there in round 1, they go full, circle. Yeah. But it's just. But let me ask you this though, and I ask this because when it comes to boxing, of course, just like with MMA, they need to keep their weight down. So of course you don't want to build too much muscle. Or how does that work? Let me ask you.
So I mean, weight is weight, right? So I mean, the biggest thing. So if that's really what I've learned, that's really not the obstacle to overcome. What I find with a lot of fighters is a lot of fighters want to stay at a specific weight so they can get that big 15 to 25 pound weight cut and have the advantage kind of going into the fight. That's the biggest obstacle, is helping them maintain the weight that they want and make their weight cut a little bit easier. What I've learned like so far with the 20-25 people that I've worked with, if I can get them, you know, within 10 pounds of that, they still stay pretty comfortable. And when it comes to putting on lean muscle mass, I mean, you're just increasing power, strength, velocity. Maintaining weight is you know, I mean, is weight is weight, right? Yeah, it's a body fat and muscle. It's still pounds.
Right.
So as long as I can comfortably keep them within the weight cut range that they want to stay in, then they're good for the most part.
As long as they're happy, you're happy.
Right, yeah.
And when it comes to weight cut, man, do you assist with that as well, or is that their thing?
I have, and I do currently, but not as much. I'm not ready to fully commit to like a 100%, which is part of why I'm doing what I'm doing with myself right now, because at the end of my 12-week program, I'm gonna have a weight cut for myself. Nice. I walked into this program at 211. I'm down to 202. A couple of weeks in, I'm gonna finish the 12 weeks. My goal is to finish and weight cut down to 185, and then just get back up to like 190 and stay there. So I'm gonna basically go through the entire experience myself is my plan, because typically 8 to 12 weeks is what a camp would feel like or be when it comes to the length of it. So that's why I'm putting myself through this diet that's about 12 weeks long. The goal is coming out and learning, achieving a proper weight cut, and then getting more involved in the fighters that I work with their weight cut completely. That's from entering into the weight cut week, taking complete control of the weight cut week, the day of the weight cut, and then bossing them, comfortably getting them back to a recovery weight, so where they're feeling great, they're not degenerated, they're not, you know, dehydrated or anything like that either, and they walk into their fight just feeling great. So I think my goal is in the next 6 to 8 months to comfortably start taking part in all of my fighters' weight cut process. Nice. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound like a jackass or feel like a jackass if I make the process hard.
Put another trash bag on you.
Yeah. So and just kind of attacking it more from the nutritional standpoint and stuff as well. The strength and conditioning aspect, I think I've done. I made a lot of progress on getting them to like peak week, and then getting them to their weight cut week. Really making sure that they're peaking. I think Gordy. He just fought. I don't know if you've had him on here before. Him and Eddie basically just fought. Both of them walked into their fights at like peak shape. They were feeling great. I mean, they both won their fights almost instantly in the first round.
Gordy didn't fight here.
He fought in peak. Yeah, he fought in peak. Yeah. So they were the first like true testament of me taking complete control of like the strength and conditioning aspect.
Nice, man.
You know, from beginning to end, and making all the tweaks that I've needed to make from the learning experiences that I've had. So I'm excited to see what happens to these next few fighters that I'm working with currently, getting them into their fights. So.
No, for sure, man. Because I mean, obviously, the good thing about fighters is they don't fight every month, but because you have 8 or 10, there's always a fight every month. So
there's always something happening. Yeah, it's pretty rare that that you get like kind of a little break. Sometimes maybe it's like a month long, and that's okay, because I still have regular clients, quote unquote regular clients that I get to focus on as well, or that I focus on a daily basis. Period. So when it comes to the fighters, I'm usually kind of like modifying my schedule all over the place to kind of help them with their camps. So it gives me a little bit of free time too. So that's cool.
No, and I mean that's always a good thing. When it comes to free time, man, what can one find you doing? What are you doing?
I got a family, so as much time as I can spend with my family as possible. I mean, I own my own time, which is great. Typically, like, this is my day. I'm finishing about 12. I start my day at 5 a.m., wake up at 4:15, get to the gym a little bit before 5, train my clients from 5 a.m. to about 12 or 1 p.m. Pick up my first daughter at 3, my second daughter at 4, and we hit jiu-jitsu classes, which is what we're doing today. Today we got USAA, so we'll drive back over to the south side. We'll hit ultimate submission, a couple of no-gi classes, be done at 7, and then home, make dinner. I cook everything at home, so home, and then family time until it's time for them to go to bed. And that's legit like my day, Monday through Friday. Saturdays are dedicated to either events or LionFitFoods. And then Sundays I try to just kind of decompress, turn my phone off, and spend as much time with my family as possible. So
No, I mean, man, it's always good to unplug. I mean, because you know, right now all of us live on social media, man. I mean, for me, it's hard, man. I mean, I put the phone down. I have to like literally charge it. What I do now, I charge it in the living room, and I just go lay down in the room.
Yeah.
That way, I don't hear it. I don't see it, and it's just I'm too lazy, you know, too tired to get up and go get it, right? But, but let me ask you, man. When it comes to your company, man, how did you go about starting LionFit?
So LionFitFoods was something that spawned from basically me just combining my food and fitness careers. The spark that basically ignited me going in that direction was I kind of always had the idea for LionFitFoods. I had it for a few years before I actually started it, because I got the idea from a place called MyFitFoods that used to be in San Antonio and Austin. And then my buddy, who I have the gym with, Sean Sykes, or who owns the gym that I'm at, his name is Sean Sykes. He owns a business called Sykexercise. He hit me up. He got on he got a contract with, I forgot what TV station, and he was on like some like reality shows to do like fitness or whatever. Yeah. So he was like, "Hey man, can you start cooking some meals for me? I'm gonna be on these reality shows." I was like, "Yeah, I guess I can." I legit had not been cooking. Like I fucking hated cooking for a while. Like I got out of the culinary business, and it was like getting out of a bad relationship. Like I didn't want nothing to do with it. I didn't want to fucking cook anything. I hated it. And it was weird because I didn't even realize that I had done that, you know? Yeah. And then he asked me to cook for him. I was like, fuck, why don't I cook for myself that often? I forgot how good I could cook, you know?
Yeah.
And that was it, man. I pulled the trigger, started cooking for him. To spare all the minor details, one thing led to the other. He started referring people to me. Other people started referring people. Before I knew it, I was like cooking overnight and then having to go to work in the next morning, and my wife was helping me make deliveries and stuff and in the morning. And then I was like, you know what, I think I can do this like full time. And she had my bag, everybody else had my bag, and I said fuck it, threw the towel in on corporate America and just went in full throttle and started cooking out of my house at first, and then just kind of built it from there. Just started marketing myself the way I was doing other people's business.
Right. I was going to say all those years that you spent helping everybody else, you were like, hey, let me invest in myself.
Legit, that's all I did is I just started doing everything that I was doing to build like the fitness industry that I was in for the company that I was working with. I just started doing that for myself. I was like, fuck, it was so easy. I was like, this is stupid. Why didn't I ever do this before?
You see, but it's something so small like that, man, because even, I mean, we talked about this before. When I went to go, you know, I left the post office, and it was scary because, of course, you were so used to that money.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, it's a risk, man. But, I mean, when I left myself, it just, you know, I had more free time. I mean, I was able to control my hours. I didn't have to put up with other coworkers, which was the best thing because you know I just hate relying on people, man. But well, I mean, when it comes to work, you know, it's just I'd rather do it myself. If I can do it, great. If I can't, then I refer somebody else, right? Yeah. But yeah, man. But I mean, the fact that you had your family behind you, man. I mean, that's a plus.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I wouldn't if I didn't have a support system. I mean, I probably could have still got it done, but it wouldn't have been as smooth as I. Like, it ended up being, like, super fucking easy. I was like, holy man, I don't know why I didn't do this before, you know. And then 7 years later, you know, here I am, and. You know, it's like everything else. It has its ups and downs. You know, sometimes I've been to a point where, like, man, I fucking crying in my car because I'm like, I don't know how I can do this. I'm so busy. And then I'm like, shut up. You're so stupid. Why are you, like, you're complaining about being too busy? Like, that's completely, that's the opposite of what you should be complaining about. And then sometimes I really have been, like, you know, where I had no business. And I'm like, damn, man, did I make the right move? I might have to go get a job. Like, you know, I start freaking out. I'm like, man, am I going to, and if I do get a job, what the hell am I going to do? You know, like, I start freaking out like that, and then
can I go to jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, and I'm just like exactly, and I'm like I got my life, but no. So, and then and I realize at those times I tend to get complacent and a little bit you know, lazy about promoting myself, and as soon as I start promoting myself again or getting active in the community or going to gyms and or samples or whatever, marketing myself again, business just shoots through the roof all over again. I'm like, I just got lazy, you know?
No, so. Yeah, and I think, I mean, all of us have that, because even myself, man, I mean, I wake up days and I'm just like, man, you know what, I'm just going to go apply somewhere, or I'm going to go, and I get job offers, and they're good, man. I mean, they're, you know, it's like I told people, I won't work for less than $25 an hour, man, and I won't, but it's just because of that, like, you know, there's people, and I've had other companies, delivery, moving companies, you know, that have reached out to me, and they're like, hey, you know, I need a driver, and it's $12, and I'm like, dude, like, I can't do that, man. And it's just, I can't go back to hourly pay, man. I just can't. I refuse to. But you know, one of the things that I realized, and like yourself, man, was that so many years that I put towards the companies that I worked with, and I worked with corporate companies, man. I worked for Academy Sports for years. I worked for the Postal, you know, Service, and it was that I was always reliable. I was always on time. I would hardly call in sick, bro. Like, I was dependable.
Yeah, and good work ethic.
Yeah, and so when I left, I was like, you know what, man, like, no love, dude. Like, I would call in one day or something happened and I had to be off, and they would like, oh, well, we're gonna write you up, and I'm thinking, dude, like, I've done like 4 years straight with no, you know what I mean, like no hiccups, and so it was stuff like that towards the end I was just like, you know what, man, if I go work for myself, for one thing, I know I can depend on myself. I can be on time. I can be reliable. I can do it, and it makes sense. So now that's what I'm doing, and I'm happy with it. And I'm sure you are too, man.
Yeah, people think you like. I work more now than what I mean, I worked a lot for corporate America. I was putting in 60 plus hours a week, sometimes 80 hours a week. And even if I do the same now, it doesn't feel like 80 hours a week.
Right.
It feels, because I'm able to control my time and kind of flop back and forth on what I want to do. I can turn it up when I need to, turn it down when I need to, take a break when I need to. And I've noticed kind of going through my ups and downs is even when, my goal was like, all right, man, I need to make the same amount of money that I was making from my job. I had a great paying job. I was like on an $85,000 plus salary. I was getting commissions and all this other shit. It was great, but I was working like crazy and I never saw anybody, and I never went to any holidays or events or anything like that. So then when I pulled back, I was like, okay, well, how much money do I need to live? And then I found that number out, right? And I was like, well, this is all the bills I have? That's all I need? Like, I just need like $2,000 a month. Like, okay, that's 24 grand a year.
You're like,
I gotta be able to make that to live.
Where's the rest of the money at?
Yeah, that's exactly, no, that's legit how it went down,
Yeah.
And so I made that money, and that's when I kind of threw the towel in, and then I was like, okay, well, I can kind of get back up to my normal salary. I think I can do it, And I realized, like, in that process of like trying to build back up to make that same amount of money, that even if I was only making 24 grand a year and I was just able to pay my bills, I was so much happier. So much happier. Like, I was just a different person. And I was like, man, I would make 30 grand on my own and turn down a 200K job year, 200K a year job, because my level of happiness and content was so much better than when I was working for corporate America. I was stressed. I was overweight. I was freaking out. I couldn't sleep. I had bosses on. I was in sales, man, so I had people on my ass all the time. Like, I ran a sales team, and I had my DVPs or my VPs. Where's your sales? Where's your numbers? Every day was a new thing, and I was like, fuck, I don't need to live like that. It was so stressful. I'll never do that shit again, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, you see, and that's one of the things exactly, bro, because it's like, for me, it took, I'm not gonna lie, like, when I started doing this for myself, it took me maybe like 3 years to finally realize, okay, you know what, like, I don't have to work as much, because I was literally from 9 in the morning till like 6 at night, or even 8, just depending, because I'd be so busy, and I was afraid, like, man, if I don't do this delivery, I'm not gonna get.
You freak out.
I'm gonna lose that money, and after a while, I was like, you know what, man, I don't get the same customer twice. It's always new people, so I said, you know what, somebody's gonna be there tomorrow. Sure enough, man, it happens that way. But it took me a while, just because I just didn't want to say no. I didn't want somebody else to take that money, because I was.
Yeah, and you're afraid. Like, what if I don't, man? I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna be this. You start freaking out a little bit. I've been there, bro, where I'm just like, man, no, I have to, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just working myself to death again. I need to chill out. Like, hello, Earth to Gino. Like, you control your own schedule. Relax, bro. That's what I did. I hit a wall. I want to say it was last year, bro. I was just getting burned out. I mean, I was training. I had like a ton of clients. I was training like 35 hours a week or 30 hours a week. And anybody who does any kind of coaching or personal training knows that more than like 15 to 20 hours, that's a lot of hours to be training people, because each client is like 90 minutes of like your own personal time plus training them, right? Like in the fitness industries, to be like an elite trainer, you have to train like 30 plus hours a week, and you're like fucking top dog, like you're killing it, right? I was training like 35 hours a week out of my gym. Plus I was doing LionFitFoods, which automatically takes up a minimum of 40 hours of my week, and then whatever else events in between. So I hit a wall, and I just fucking said, I told my wife, I said, I fucking quit. I quit, man. Fuck you. I called myself, and I said, I quit, dude. It's a wrap. And then I planned it out a little bit, and I ended up taking a whole month off. I took all of May off last year. Dang. I kind of handed over the business, let the other guys kind of take care of everything. I purged all of my clients. I just said, I'm sorry. I'm stopping. I'm coming back when I'm ready. When I come back, if you guys want to jump back on board, great. I appreciate it. Love every one of you, but I'm out. And took a little vacation, took the whole month off, purged all my clientele base, and then slowly kind of made my way back into it after that month. Because I had been so burnt out. It actually took me, I didn't really start training in for like another 3 months. Like I got back to LionFitFoods, but I was like, fuck it, I'm not even going back to the gym. I didn't even care. I ended up like, I don't think I trained until like July, like took clients back until like July. And then I kind of like slowly just started working with only fighters and then kind of added a few clients here and there. Now I'm back up to like 15, 18 hours a week, but that's the cherry spot for me, you know, like anything more than that, I'll get burned out. So I'm just like,
plus, like you said, you still have your company, you still have family, you still have, so yeah, you definitely won't need that time. You know, you want to make that time for yourself.
Right.
Now, as far as earlier, there was something you mentioned earlier, man. As far as being a personal trainer, you see, you don't like that word. You like the word, you know, as far as coach. Yeah. But why is that though?
I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't know shit. I'm always like so hard on myself. Like even when it comes to food, like I got 20 plus years of experience and I know it, and I just feel like a personal trainer is like, I don't feel like it sounds bougie. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't really know. I prefer the word coach. Like I like to coach. I tell people all the time, like, listen, I want to come up. I got the map. I'm in the back seat. You're in the front seat holding the steering wheel. I'm in the back seat with just the map. You don't have to fucking listen to me. I might not know what I'm talking about sometimes, and you might know more than me, and that's totally cool. Per my experience and like all of my independent learning, because I do constantly try to evolve and like buy programs. Like I'm currently learning Broga. You know, I've been engulfing myself in the Dolce diet, so I read books like fucking crazy. I'm just a big reader, so I'm constantly self-educating. But I do that. I learned, just back to my childhood, I learned like, you know, and I'm in my 40s now, but I learned that I've always been that way because I've always felt like the dumbest person in the room. Like I just had like that low, shitty self-esteem.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think like specific words, I kind of don't use them because I just feel like I don't maybe deserve it, or I don't think that I'm that. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had enough skin in the game, like, you know, to say like, okay, I'm a legit combat strength and conditioning coach. You know, that's why I tell my guys, like, this is a learning process for me. I'm only a few years in. I'm not even a toddler yet in this game. You know, I'm not like cooking. Now cooking's a whole different thing. Like for me, cooking, like, you want to go toe to toe cooking, like I'm a vet. I got this. I'm confident there. You know, but when it comes to like coaching people, I understand that I legit have only been in it like 5 years. I've been around it for 20 years, but learning process wise, I'm only like 4 or 5 years in right now. So I just don't fucking like the word personal trainer.
No, and I was gonna say, because I think the word itself, every time I hear it, it sounds commercial. It's not, for me, it sounds just like personal trainer, like everybody. Hey, that guy's a personal trainer, and this guy. But when you hear coach, it's a little bit more personal, because now you're like, hey, this is my team, you know. And for me, I like it for that reason. I mean, I don't know if it's the same way, but yeah, I'm a personal trainer. Like I hear people like, yeah, I'm a personal trainer, and I look and I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, it's like cookie cutter, you know. It's like cookie cutter to me, and I guess when I say bougie, that's kind of what I mean. Like it kind of seems like streamlined. Like I don't fit in that. I never felt like I fit with like the status quo. So like using words like I'm a personal trainer is like, okay, like no, I mean.
So is this guy.
Yeah. You know what? And being a coach / personal trainer, even being in the culinary business, those are like businesses that kind of get frowned upon. People don't take that shit too seriously, you know? They think like they're like low level blue collar jobs, or like everybody can be like, oh yeah, I was a personal trainer before I became a doctor. Well, yeah, you were just a personal trainer then. Like anybody can be. I could go to fucking Planet Fitness and call myself a personal trainer. Like, you know, there's a difference, man. There's a legit difference, you know, when you educate yourself. And I hate that too. You know, I think like same thing with like chef. I think a lot of people confuse. I always tell people like I'm a real chef. Like if there's one thing that I am confident about in my life is my cooking. Like I am a real chef. I make shit from scratch, from beginning to end. I create recipes. I don't do this other crap that short order cooks
Canned goods.
There's a big difference. Yeah, there's a huge difference. I make my own seasons. Like I can make anything from scratch. Anything. Like, any food genre, anything, I can fucking do it. Like I will do it. It's just what I was taught. I was taught by one of the best chefs that I think in the world, which is Andrew Wiseman. Dude knows everything, has been everywhere. He sent me all over the country to kind of learn different things. That's one thing I'm massively confident about. So I can't say that. See, I can't speak like that when it comes to the fitness aspect of what I do. even though, you know, even if there's people that are like, hey man, you're great at what you do, like your fitness, like I got professional athletes that believe in what I'm doing, and I'm so thankful for that. But I stay in my lane. I'm gonna stay humble about it until I don't need to, I guess. Right. You know, and even when I don't need to, I don't boast about like shit. Period. It's not my style. So.
No, but I mean, obviously, man, because these guys do come back to you. So obviously, you are doing a great thing. Let me ask you, because earlier you had mentioned as far as you yourself, I mean, you're testing the Dolce diet. You're doing Broga now. So are all these basically to, I mean, decide what works, what doesn't, and then just kind of use it for your own? I mean, as far as add it to your tool?
Yeah, so definitely like the Broga I need in my life, without a doubt. And the homie over at SoFit, Jason Padilla, shout out to him. He's got a great gym. He's an amazing dude. He's phenomenal shape. He hosts a Broga class every Saturday in San Antonio, so if anybody ever wants to go check it out. I'm not as limber as that dude. So, you know, my muscles are tight. Like, I need yoga in my life in some way, shape, or form. So I do it more for like this. Like I said, I'm a big learner. I've always been a big learner. So especially when I think that I don't know shit about something, I engulf myself in it, you know. So Broga is just another one of those things. Like if I don't keep myself occupied learning something, I tend to like flop like a fish out of water. So it's just part of me basically keeping myself occupied. And like I said, I want to know what I'm talking about when I'm coaching people, and when I'm trying to provide them with my service and my products. Like I wanted them to feel confident in that I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to sell you something ever that I've never done myself. I don't ever put my guys through a workout that I cannot do myself or that I have not done myself. I will never do that. I just won't. I'm not the fucking guy that's going to be like bang out 50 burpees with this RAM bar, and I've never done 50 burpees with a RAM bar in my life. Like, no, you're not. It's not going to happen. That's fucking stupid. You know, so.
And let me ask you, because you do train, you actually train with Ray the Judge when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Do you feel because you put him through the grinder when you're doing the personal trainer, he takes
that they beat my ass over there? Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, because he might be like, hey, remember those burpees you had?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. You know, when I step into somebody's house, like I said, I stay in my lane. So you know, when I'm in your house, I'm not the last dude you have to worry about like being an idiot or disrespectful or anything like that. And if it's time for me to take an ass whooping, like I'm gonna graciously do it, you know,
and learn from it.
Yeah. Like I don't talk shit to anybody I know who's gonna whoop my ass. So if Ray's like, do this, I'm like, yes sir. Yeah, cool. It's your house.
I don't know for sure, man. I mean, and one of the things, and I've said this before, man. I've said many times about Ray, is that he himself, man. I mean, just like you, he'll test it. He'll do it himself.
Yeah. And
he's not gonna be like, hey, well, everybody can do. I mean, if he hasn't done it before, I'm sure he doesn't teach it, man. And that's one of the things that I definitely respect about the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, man, what's your rank?
Oh man, I'm still cocaine no stripes. Yeah, cocaine white no stripes. Yeah, I don't go enough. I've been doing it for almost a year now, but I don't go to classes. So like I work with Chris, you know, the guy that we had here before. So I worked with him for like the first 6 to 7 months that I did jiu-jitsu, and then here and there I was taking a class at BTT. Now my whole family goes to BTT. Like my wife's got a couple stripes. My daughter's about to become whatever's after the white belt. I think a gray and white belt
for kids, right?
Yeah, for kids. Yeah, and then my other daughter, the 5-year-old. She doesn't really care right now, but she's got a few stripes.
Yeah, so can they tap you out?
Yeah, they all beat me up. yeah, man. They all whoop my ass, man. I mean, my son does jiu-jitsu. I got an older son. Like I said, a son really young, in high school. That dude's a beast. He's like 6'1", 200 solid pounds of muscle, and he beats me up too all the time. So he goes to Ultimate Submission Academy. But yeah, man, I need to be more consistent. I just told myself the past couple of weeks, okay, I'm gonna start. Last week was my first week that I like intentionally took multiple classes, you know, like so I could say, okay, look, I'm here, I'm taking classes. I fucking would like, can I get a stripe like in the next 6 months? No, I don't really care about that. Yeah, I don't honestly, like I don't. Jiu-jitsu is like it's a marathon, man. You know, so I don't expect anything out of jiu-jitsu, honestly. Like I just show up. I try to put the work in as best as I can. It's extremely humbling for me. You know, whenever the time comes, it comes. But I will say this, like I've seen a few, like I just saw Eddie get promoted to a black belt brown belt. Yeah, brown belt the other day. And every time I've seen like somebody that I have a relationship with get like some type of promotion in jiu-jitsu, it's so exciting for me. I'm like it's a hard thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, getting a stripe or the next level belt, it's like, bro, I know, like, I'll probably cry, dude, because it's just like, I'm going to be so, I haven't accomplished anything like that. Like, like, there's no getting around it. There's no cheating jiu-jitsu, you know? And especially, like, if, like, working with Ray, like, Ray's got one of the hardest work ethics that I've ever met in my life when it comes to inside and outside of the gym. Like, he's a straight shooter in his gym. He does not mess around. Like, you know where it's at. He's loving, but he's stern, you know? So I know nothing. I don't expect anything easy. I'm not going to be like, hey, Ray, you're my workout partner. Come on, bro. Like, hook me up. Yeah, can I get a stripe? Did you see me hit that choke, coach? Like, no, I don't expect anything from it at all. So I know when the time comes, you know, if I stay consistent at his gym, when I stay consistent at his gym, and that time comes, like, I have earned it, you know? So it's something that I'm honestly looking forward to, because it's just,
no, for sure, man.
Know, it's a tough job.
you know when it happened, it's because it's well deserved. You know?
Yeah,
no doubt. You know, because like you said earlier, man, the thing with jiu-jitsu is if you can't fake it, man, because if you do, you'll get exposed. Yeah, you know, and it'll turn out, and people find out, and it's you know, for those that have, or maybe in the past, I know. It used to happen a lot, like back years back, you know, and then people would, you know, right away, man, everybody's like, oh man, this guy bought his belt, or this guy, you know, it's just, but I mean, each their own. If that's how they feel, then by all means. But yeah, man, if you know, you can't fake it, bro.
You can't fake anything in the fight game, man.
No, heck no. Even then, and let me ask you, when it comes to, I mean, of course, being the coach, as far as your, you know, your company with a LionFit, what else do you have going on, man?
Like,
I mean, like, besides family, I mean, like, any other projects you're working on, or?
I do, like, yeah, so I started a combat apparel line called Let's Fight About It. So was the shirt that I forgot to bring you. But right now I'm getting some hats, some combat shorts, and some new shirts printed. I work with a local designer. His name's Craig Patterson. He goes by Absorb. Badass guy, man. He creates some really cool stuff. He's basically been doing all of my designs so far. I just had this idea. It stemmed from me always buying Contenders. You know, Contenders? Like, and I was like, Contenders is nostalgic because they have shit like Cobra
Rocky,
Kai, you know what I mean, and Rocky. Yeah, so as soon as they had Cobra Kai, I was like all over that shit, because I was like, when I was a kid, like I said, I'm in my early 40s, so I was all over that Karate Kid stuff. And I was like, man, there's nobody locally doing anything combat apparel. So I linked up with Cameron Davies a while back, and I was going to start doing some stuff with him. And that kind of just we hit the pause button on that, and it's kind of been hanging up in the air. And that's when I was like, I can get my stuff printed with Cameron, because he does all this printing there. Then, like I said, everything kind of got put on pause, and I was like, you know what, I can't leave this on pause. It's something that I want to do. So I started getting stuff printed, started going like to jiu-jitsu tournaments and the Fury fights, linked up with Eric from Fury. I go to almost every one, as long as it's not too far, that's in Texas for the Fury fights, and set up there and slang apparel there. And I got a ton of ideas for it. It's a really slow grind, like handling merch. It's a huge investment and a very slow ROI. So that's definitely the long game, but I'm not going to give up on it. It's something I really want to do. So that always kind of stays on the slow burn, like it's on the back simmering. And then I also do like pop-up brisket grilled cheese pop-ups. I'm doing one for, I think I tagged you on, this dude Cody Beck is coming to town. He hosts the Dirty South Street Beefs or something like that. So it's like a mix of kind of like amateur boxing, MMA, kickboxing, whatever they want to do, I think is what I've gathered so far. And I think it's kind of like backyard brawl style. So like I'm doing like a brisket pop-up grill. I do a brisket grilled cheese sandwich. There's nothing healthy about it, but that's the point. So I just kind of try to stay in as many events as possible. But that brisket thing I do like once a month. I got the Let's Fight About It combat apparel. That's like one of my passions for sure. It's gonna sound like I'm doing a lot of shit, but I just restarted my Culinary Ninja podcast, because I used to have a podcast with James Leha Jr., my buddy Rumble, but they opened up the new location for Leha Boxing, and you know, he got a little busy. Our lives kind of like we weren't in it. We were doing it every single week. We had some really cool guests like Cameron Davies, like Dr. Grunberg, like the Buns and Guns. We had a ton of people that we had sat down and did a podcast with, so it was cool. So I ended up just kind of renaming it to the Culinary Ninja Podcast, which was what was going to be my original name for my business. which I felt like I should have done. But that's the name of my podcast, man. So I just been doing like little segments and uploading little tidbits here and there. And, I got a spot where I do it at, and I just need to kind of get my butt in there and get the.
No, yeah, and I was gonna say, I mean, obviously, is the whole thing to bring guests in, or are you doing like where you can just, you know, you go somewhere and you can just go off your car? I mean, everything, you have a studio, you have everything set
Yeah,
up?
so another buddy of mine has a business, and he has a where's the name? What is the name of it? I'm drawing a blank. It's it's here downtown by the police station. I forgot the name of the building. Anyways, he's got a studio where he was doing his podcast at, and he does like CBD pre-rolls.
Okay.
So basically, he was sponsoring my podcast. I kind of invested in some of the equipment, like the mics and the thing that I don't even know how to use. And I have it there, and so I can kind of go pop up and do a podcast whenever, just gotta kind of communicate with him. So
that's good, though, man. I
remember the name of the damn building. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now.
What is it? The building itself? It's just his business? Are you using like a studio or?
It's got a ton of businesses in there. It's got Bare Goods in there. It's got like all these other. It's got a cool coffee shop like in the bottom of it. Oh, nice. It's right by the. Dude, I forget. It's like building number 5 or something like that. Is
right
what it's
next
called.
to the courthouse.
It's right behind the bridge. It's called I think it's called building number 5 from what I remember. It says I swear to God, like it says it on the building, like
Probably.
building number 5.
I was gonna say because half the time I'm just like the corner next.
Yeah. So my buddy's name is Amos. He has they call him the Juiced Up Ninja. He's like huge in the cannabis industry, like especially for San Antonio. He's doing a lot of cool shit. He's about to open up a cannabis juice bar that he's having. Everything is being built from hemp, which is badass. Yeah. So he has his spot for his business. He has like Famous Juice Bar, and then I forgot the name of his cannabis, his pre-rolls.
And that's going to be opening up soon?
Well, he has all those established already.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the juice bar will be opening up soon. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I know it's like in its finishing stages. I just saw some of the stuff he posted the other day. So.
Oh, I should definitely look out for that, man. I mean, you said it's downtown too, right?
Warehouse number 5. That's the name of the building.
I'm gonna have to look at it. Google.
Warehouse number 5 is the name of the building. What it is? That's the name of the building.
Okay.
It's called Warehouse number 5. It's right behind the bridge, behind like the police station, the courthouse and stuff.
You see, I know where the police station
cross that bridge, and there's a corner, and there's a building. It looks just like a building, and then there's a neighborhood. And in the bottom of the building, there's this like really popular coffee shop, and then the building is just a bunch of suites that people rent out.
I know where. Okay, you see, I always drive by there on the way over here because I do live out there off on the west side. But I've seen it because this is free coffee.
Yeah.
You drive by there, and I always wondered, like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Man? So that's what it is.
And it says Warehouse number 5 on the building.
I haven't even seen that, man. I guess I haven't looked that high.
Yeah, it says Warehouse number 5 on the building. So that's where it's at. So that's where I'll go and bang. I haven't been in there in a while, but
I'm gonna have to stop by there, man.
There's a bunch of like random businesses in there, like barbers and I don't know, a bunch of shit.
See, I didn't even know that. That's
salons and stuff like that. Just like 3 stories. It's a cool little place, man. But he's had it for a while. I just teamed up with him and like I said, invested in some of the equipment, and he was like, yeah, come through, and he sponsored the podcast. He let me use the space.
All you have to do is show up and get it done, man.
Yeah, which we were doing pretty consistently. Like I said, me and Rumble, me and Leha Jr., or he doesn't like me coach, so me and Leha the second or whatever, we were doing it pretty consistently. And then, like I said, they started working on their new location for the Leha boxing, and we just kind of,
Because I know they closed the one on San Pedro.
Yeah.
That gym closed. Did he stay out there on 1604? Or is that one closed also?
1604, I think that one, they sold that one a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, like years ago. And then they had the San Pedro location, and then James, the second, opened up Rumble Club downtown.
Oh, okay. That's
I think it was on Alamo and something else. It was like kind of going towards the Pearl Brewery, like on the right side.
Right.
He opened Rumble Boxing Club, which was dope. That was like his spot. And then they ended up basically combining the 2 locations, the San Pedro location and Rumble, and they got a big spot like off of the same road that Cameron has his like Davies Entertainment on. I forget what that road is on 410. So they're out there. Their new location is called Leha Boxing. It's huge, good spot. They got all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah,
so.
I would always see James, not the second, but his dad.
Yeah, his dad.
Right there, because I do deliver furniture for Big Lots, so I would see him out there every once in a while, man. I'd be like, hey, chap, what's up?
Okay.
But always a cool guy, man. I always like seeing him out there just because, he was humble.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they really helped me. I'm going to find my buddy's business really quick and tell you. MJ's Hemp, that's what it's called. So MJ's, yeah. So MJ's Hemp is the sponsor of our podcast, or my podcast now. I'm going to send you his info so you can check him out. The dude is super cool, man. He's a fucking genius, especially in the cannabis world. Yeah, the Lejas work with me a lot, man. I work with them for like, at the end of like my first year of LionFitFoods, I started sponsoring Kendall Tremendo. Yeah. So I sponsored him for a few years, and I work with the Lejas directly. They're amazing people, man. They always like, I mean, they referred me a ton of business. They helped me build my business. They were always super nice to me and my family. We did a little trade, for a while. They would let me go in their gym and stuff like that, and became friends with James II, and we started our podcast and stuff like that. But they're awesome people, man. They do a lot for the boxing community, and they do a lot for the community, period. I don't know, man. They're some of the nicest people I've ever met. Yeah. So
I mean, I can vouch for that, man. Yeah. Like I said, every time I would see his dad out and about, the fight games or even the promotions, man, he was always pretty cool. Just be by himself chilling. So I'd be like, hey, out of courtesy, I would just greet him and then leave him alone. Wouldn't crowd him, but yeah, man, definitely, especially from being from San Antonio, man. I mean, that's. I mean, he made a name for himself. Right. The city. I mean, there's still up and coming boxers coming up.
Yeah, man. Exciting. He was the only guy that had brought that WBC until I forget if it was Barrios first or if it was Franco first. I forgot who brought I think Barrios.
I think so.
I don't remember which one of them. I don't remember which one of them did it first, man. But yeah, he was the only guy that had that WC brought to San Antonio. He's a great dude, man. I mean, him like. He's a cool guy. Barrios is one of the guys we had our podcast with. My LionFitFoods were Mario Barrios' sponsor, so we've been nice. his nutritional sponsor for maybe about 6 to 8 months before the Davies fight.
Tell him to come by, man. I met him at the weigh-ins for one of the fights that happened a few months back.
Yeah.
And, I told him, I says, hey, man, I wasn't established yet here, but I had told him, like, definitely bring him on and pick his brain, man, because, I mean, I know he's had 2 tough fights, recently, and he's still in it, man.
Yeah, so that dude's a monster, man. I went to his Davies fight in Atlanta, and it's crazy, man, when you get to know somebody and then you see them in, like I was sitting in a pool of, like, Tank Davis fans, you know what I mean? And, like, everybody was training for Davis, and, like, just seeing Mario just fighting, like, he was badass, man. He was just fighting his heart out, and like the energy like in there, and it was an amazing event, man. Like, that dude he's so humble, man. Like, like I said, we had him on the podcast. I've talked to him a bunch of other times. My daughter's like in love with him. My 5-year-old, like, swear to God, like, loves him. Like, she wants to marry him and stuff. And he's just such a cool dude, man. He's so down to earth, and he's an amazing individual, man. Dude's like skating everywhere, like he's just chill, man. He's cool.
No, and I had asked him because I know at one of the press conferences, he had a denim jacket and he had all these pump patches.
Yeah.
I saw him at the weigh-ins and I says, hey, man, what's up with the pump patches, man? He says, hey, man. And I was like, dude, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's big into punk music, man.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but he knows everything about it. So.
Because I saw those patches and I said, man, I got every one of those albums.
Oh, yeah. So y'all guys would have a good conversation on that. He's huge into that. I don't know shit about it, but like, I'll send you the podcast we did with him, man.
Please. Definitely check it out, man.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy, man. I love that dude. He's awesome, man.
My man, Gino, thank you, bro. We're going to wrap this up. But LionFit, what's your link, your website link?
Yeah, so you can find us at www.lionfitfoods.com. And also our handle for Instagram is lion.fitfoods. Same thing on Facebook. Those are really the only 2 major like social media platforms I have. You can also find the Culinary Ninja podcast. You can find everything I have on IG when it comes to like my food and my fitness. You can kind of basically hit the links from there and go to the other social media outlets. But lion.fitfoods is the handle, and then lionfitfoods.com is the website. So
and no MySpace account, right?
No MySpace. I don't think I ever had. I never had one of those. I didn't really know about social media. Yeah, I'm a late bloomer, man. So
no, I remember that, unfortunately. But yeah, man. But I do appreciate you, man. I know you got a busy schedule. Yeah. If anything else comes out, man, definitely love to bring you back in here. And if not, I want to jump on your podcast, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep you posted.
Everybody out there, man. This is Spider, the Fight Card Podcast. Until next time, follow up.
Appreciate you.
Are we off?